Still got 3 more weeks to go.
What's up, Madeline? Hey.
Hola.
Hola. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien. ¿Y tú?
Oh, bien.
Are you watching now? Or doing it now?
It's helpful information for everybody.
She said she didn't want to do it.
How did Christina
Okay.
go from Jason to Aiden?
Because he's probably at their house.
I am.
Yep.
We should hang the mustache backdrop.
Oh gosh,
Oh, that's a good idea.
that's a good idea. I don't have anything to hang it on.
Hi, Jean.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh,
I am good.
What's up,
Hi,
Coach Karen?
well, it's going to be like a million billion people on here.
Look at your pretty keyboard, Noah.
Hey, Kristen.
It's a keyboard cover.
Sorry, I was on mute.
If you
How do I
click,
join the Zoom thing when it's
The
time?
green thing on the bottom.
Yep. You're not going to be able to see everyone. And whenever someone starts making noise or talking, basically, like,
Wait, how do I go into Jason?
it will just change.
Oh, random.
What's up, Nate?
So whenever someone talks.
Oh.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, we got the entire Hoffman family. Look at that.
Yeah.
Except for Dad.
And
Elias.
But he'll be in here.
Can I use your pencil? I do not have corona. Unless.
Don't give me the coronavirus.
Will you post the link on the Facebook page and the group? Just say we're live now. I don't know.
On our C-Nights page or the regular page?
On both.
Are you doing that now? I'm watching.
I don't care. I invited the entire Navy.
You weren't gonna watch it, now you are. Yes.
You invited the Navy?
Yeah, all my Navy athletes. I don't know how many will show up, but I invited them all.
Hey kids.
I saw that. I was like,
That's from Jaden.
Oh,
Jaden's logged in as you, so.
Oh my gosh, you can chat too. Wow.
wait, you can? I'm literally so self-conscious because it keeps randomly cycling through people.
Wow.
I don't know how many people are just like randomly just on my face. Ooh.
What's up, Hannah?
Hannah's on here.
Yep, she just joined.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you can.
Filter
This
here.
is so interesting.
How do I get
You can swipe through everyone. Interesting.
I think Quinn's trying to join as well.
I see Jaden.
Give me back my chapstick. Oh, I found it.
I can't see me.
Hannah Duncan.
Yeah.
Oh,
You have to do
Oh,
video.
at the bottom you can press start video or stop video. I can't tell. And
Oh, I
you
see
can,
it.
Oh, and then you
Wait.
can come in.
It says it won't, like, I have something issue with, like, apparently it can't access my camera.
How camera.
Interesting.
Hey,
It
Hannah, good leg workout yesterday. Sophia said you killed him.
Oh, yay, really?
that was torture.
That made me so happy. I came home, she's like, my legs hurt.
Let me. I don't understand why this won't. There's more people on here. I don't like that.
I know, I don't like that. At least they can't see you. They can see me, and I feel very self-conscious.
I know.
Like this.
You're just gonna point the camera at the wall, Nate.
Yeah. I don't like this. Because you can't tell who's looking at you, so I'm very, very self-conscious.
Personally, I can't even get my camera to work, so.
I feel bad just stopping the video. Okay, never mind.
You could stop the video. Nobody will care.
I will. I'm weird
Can
that
we
way.
see everyone at a time? Oh, Sarah's on here.
Good job, Hannah.
Yeah.
Were you not looking at the group chat? Did you not see people say, yes, I am going to it?
Well, I may or may not have put the group chat on Do Not Disturb.
Oh, wow.
Hannah, you're not the only one.
I'm not
I
even
mean-
in that group chat for some weird reason.
Yeah.
Nate.
I think it's Wyatt's fault. It's something at Kuda. I don't remember what. Wyatt didn't want to put me on it. But I'm fine.
We just don't talk a lot on the other one.
Let's see. We're gonna give people a couple more minutes.
Okay.
Oh, Darren's on here.
Bye.
Oh.
Oh.
Can I hold it? I want to hold it.
Oh, we got
I
Quinn.
wanted to play to Madeline.
Is Quinn on now? I don't see Quinn.
Yep, Quinn's
Oh, there's
on now.
Oh.
Here you guys joining your nutrition conversation is
I don't wanna hold
the
it anymore.
ladybug that was found in our
They
lettuce.
can't see it.
It's
Hold it up.
alive too.
See.
Oh,
Oh, this is about nutrition. I didn't really look at the label of what this was going to be.
we're not
He's
going to
joy.
eat the ladybug. I'm going to go set it free.
Ew, it smells like ladybug.
I think you ought to wash that lettuce.
Ew. I'm going to go sit over here.
The ladybug could be carrying coronavirus.
It could be. You don't know.
Smells like ladybug. All right,
It does
we're gonna
smell like
wait 2 more minutes.
smell a
A whole
ladybug.
2 minutes.
A whole
I
2
can get my
minutes.
camera to work.
Wow, that's a
That's a
long
long time to wait.
I know.
Gina, what is happening? I don't know.
That's Jaden. I can see him.
Hi, Jaden.
He's muted for some reason. I don't know why.
Hi, Christina. Hi.
Oh, hey, Christina.
Who's that?
Hey, Christina.
Hoffman's.
Hi, Danny.
Chris is here. He's just over there.
Whoopsie.
Why is Savannah not here? I feel like Savannah should be here. Oh, Annika's here.
Why
Oh,
don't
hey, Annika.
Or
I can't tell who's here.
someone text Savannah?
I will.
Can I ask who's talking?
You are, Hannah.
It
No,
sounds
I
like
mean-
someone has like the news on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I have the news on.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. They can hear it. Lavala, you're like, oh, it's me.
Oh,
Say something.
There we go. I got the volume.
Hi, Annika.
Hello.
Hi, Sarah, Johnson, and Evie.
Evie! I haven't seen Evie in so long.
She's sad because she can't play with any friends anymore.
I relate on a spiritual level
right?
with this.
I really
Social distancing. You can't be near people.
No, you can be around people under 10.
You're supposed to be social distancing.
No, under groups of 10, not age of 10.
Well, as of 6 a.m. tomorrow, you're not allowed to leave your house. So
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to leave my house, and I've left my house once in 2 weeks.
I haven't left
I know
my
it's
house
great, right?
If you're introverted, it's great. It's awful if you're extremely extroverted
Oh,
like
no.
me.
Wait, Hannah,
Yeah.
you should take notes with your pretty pen.
I should take notes.
'Cause that's what I'm doing.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna do
All
that.
right. So we're going to go ahead and start.
Oh,
So
boy.
if you guys
Wasn't
will do
that-
me a favor and everybody mute your mics unless you're going to talk. All right. So if I ask a question, you can unmute, but just so that we don't have a ton of background noise, probably best that everybody mute their mics. All right. Let me go ahead and pull up the display. Oops. That's not what I want to do. Give me 1 second. There we go.
And by the way, Savannah is coming. She's trying to join now. Sorry.
Gotcha. All right. Can everybody see the slides?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to do a brief overview on nutrition today. We're not going to go really in depth. We're just going to kind of cover surface topics. Why does this matter? So if anybody can tell me what's wrong with this picture on the right, go ahead and let me know. Anybody?
Are they putting gas in an electric car?
Yes, she's trying to put gas in a Tesla. So obviously, if we don't fuel the car with what it's meant to be fueled with, we're probably not going to go very far and we're not going to be very successful. So that's just a very simple idea that I want you guys to get about nutrition, is that we are literally fueling our vehicle, which our vehicle is ourselves. So obviously, it's kind of stupid if you try to put gasoline in an electric vehicle, because it's not going to work. All right. So to have more fun, let's see. Go ahead and watch this video. I think this is funny. So hopefully you guys laughed a little bit. This is kind of what nutrition feels like nowadays, right? Everybody's got a new diet. Everybody's got a different way of thinking that you know, a different nutrition plan is better than another nutrition plan, and it's a topic that's going to be argued about till the day that we die. Even the FDA, you know, changes course a lot of times. The Food and Drug Administration not too long ago thought coconut oil was bad, and now they're telling everybody coconut oil is good for you. So this idea of nutrition and these studies that are coming out, it's very fluid, right? We're learning stuff every day. We're learning how the body responds to food every day. We have this huge increase in food allergies that we never had before. So it's kind of this like merry-go-round a lot of times in nutrition. So what I'm hoping to give you today is just a basic fundamental knowledge of what we absolutely know that's not going to change. And we're not going to talk a lot about different diets and ketogenic diets and paleo diets. We're not going to talk about that stuff. We're going to keep to the basics. I'm going to let you know how you can feed your body for success. All right. So we're going to start off. There's 4 macronutrients. So these are the big nutrients that occur in your body. All right. So we have carbs, protein, and fat. Those are 3 big ones. If you see this label over here, this is the label that you find in all of your foods that you eat. Basically, 1 gram of protein and 1 gram of carb is equivalent to 4 calories, and a gram of fat is equivalent to 9 calories per gram. So if you add all these things up, it should equal 230. You do minus calories for dietary fiber, so that's why you might not get exactly 230. But if you were to take something without any dietary fiber, the math is really, really simple when it comes to how many calories are in something and where it comes from. All right. So our energy systems. This is the basic knowledge that we have to have when we start talking about these macronutrients and the use of the macronutrients. Because if we don't understand the energy systems, we don't understand how what we eat affects what we do. So you see 3 different energy systems here. We have our ATP PCR, or here it says CP. Basically, it's phosphocreatine, adenosine triphosphate phosphocreatine. Our glycolysis system, which comes primarily from carbohydrates. And our long-term energy system, which is the aerobic system, comes from the primary burning of fat as a primary source of fuel. So as you can see, if you look at this, if we're doing a 5-minute bout of exercise, we're going to see how we change from one energy system to the other, being one energy system's more dominant than the other as we move through the duration of our exercise. So we start off the first 10 seconds that we burst, okay, that is our ATP PCR system. That's stored adenosine triphosphate phosphocreatine that's in the body that's rapidly available. So this is the system that if you are laying in your bed tonight and the fire alarm goes off on your house, you're going to jump out of bed and run out the door. That's the system you're using, okay? Once we get into about 30 seconds, 15 to 30 seconds, our glycolytic system takes over. So that's our carbohydrates, all right? And we store carbohydrates in glycogen in our muscles and our liver. So this is the energy system that provides us with immediate fuel. And then we have this long-term aerobic system, which burns fat, but it takes a little bit longer to kick in and produce ATP, all right? So it takes a little bit longer to produce energy. So all three of these systems work together so that we can provide the muscles with energy from a consistent starting point all the way through, right? So if you look at a sprinter, let's say a 50 freestylists, where the elite 50 freestylists are going 22 seconds, they're using a heck of a lot of ATP PCR, all right? So that's their primary system that they're using. Now, it's important to know that our body becomes more efficient at using these energy systems as we train. So an untrained person, that ATP PCR system, right, that really fast burst energy is good for about 8 seconds. We can push that limit up to about 15 seconds in a highly trained athlete, all right? Now, none of these systems work alone. They're all working at the same time. It's important to understand that because our bodies need energy if we're exercising or if we're not exercising. So when we look at the glycolytic system versus the aerobic system, there's one key thing that we need to understand, okay? The glycolytic system is anaerobic. Aerobic meaning oxygen, and meaning without oxygen. So anaerobic without oxygen. When you burn fat, oxygen is required to break down that fat molecule and put it into the Krebs cycle, okay? So when we say things like anaerobic, we're talking between 30 seconds and about 2.5 minutes, all right? The data is still not there. Some people say it can go up to 3 minutes. Some people say it's only 2 minutes. But either way, this is your 200 frees, your 100 frees, your 200 strokes, your 100 strokes. Things that are longer than 30 seconds, but not really longer than 3 minutes. All right, so we're using carbohydrates as a main source of energy for those. All right, so when we look at training, okay, when we're doing short bouts of sprints, right? So if I give you lots of rest, that's because we need these energy systems to recover, and we're about to see that in this next slide. So when we look at this ATP PCR system, time to fatigue, it's very fast. Like I said, it's about 10 seconds. Your availability, so the amount of time that you can rapidly produce that energy, is extremely fast. It's ready for you right away. But you have very little of it. You don't have a whole lot of that stored in your body. And the oxygen needed, there is no oxygen needed in that system. That system works without the presence of oxygen. But if you look down at the bottom, this work to rest ratio, 1:6 to 1:20. So that means that if you're doing a 15-second sprint, right, 15 seconds times 6 is 130, you're going to need about 1.5 minutes to recover that system fully, all right, up to 20 times that. So if you watch elite weightlifters train, or if you watch pure sprinters train, when I was a track cyclist, it was always fun to watch the sprinters because they do like one lap around the track and then they'd sit down for 15 minutes. It's because they need to restore this system. So you move over to the glycolytic system, time to fatigue is high. It's about 3 minutes, like I said. You can find science all over the place that says that number is higher or lower. Time to availability is fast. It doesn't take a whole lot of time for that system to kick in, but we only have a moderate supply of it. So we don't have a whole lot of readily available glycogen to use in that system. But once again, it's without the presence of oxygen. So these two systems, right, when we think about sprinting and we're running out of breath, right, those two systems, we're going to continue to produce energy for the body without oxygen, all right? When we get in an oxidative system, now we're talking 400s, 500s, the mile, 1650, 1500 meters. All right. I think you guys got that. Any questions on that so far? Nope. Okay. So for the parents in the room and anybody that's watching this after this, these are 6 phases that we worked on when I was at USA Weightlifting in terms of trying to get coaches to understand where nutrition fits into growth, right, and what we should be focusing on. So obviously, if your kid is under 6 years old, encourage variety in eating. Lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, having them try different things is important. Phase 2, we're encouraging kids to drink water during practice, encourage a snack after practice. All right. Phase 3, we're beginning to focus on balancing nutrition, beginning to educate athletes on the differences between macronutrients, which is what we're talking about today, and then focus on training on good carbohydrates and lean protein, which is also what we're talking about today. So these last 4 phases is really what we're talking about today. Phase 4, we're beginning to talk about sports nutrition, encouraging food over supplements, which I'm going to touch on ever so briefly. And then we're going to begin to focus on timing of meals and snacks. And then you guys can read the rest. I don't need to read it to you. But we're going to talk primarily on phase 3 and 4, and we'll touch on the other stuff a little bit. So our carbohydrates, like I said earlier, carbs are stored in a readily form known as glycogen in the body. It's found in the muscles and liver. Higher intensity short-term exercise depends the most on glycogen stores. So that's your really high intensity sprints, right? No more than 2-3 minutes. If we're doing bursts, right, of high intensity exercise, we're also going to depend heavily on glycogen stores. For the most part, the lower the intensity, the more we're going to probably use fat as a primary source of fuel. So we talk about carbohydrates in 2 categories: complex carbohydrates and simple carbohydrates. Simple meaning sugar, it's fast to the body. This is all measured with basically how fast it breaks down in the body. So some fruits break down slower than other fruits. Simple starches, pasta will break down faster than a whole wheat bread, things like that. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that. Protein. Protein's responsible for tissue repair and growth in the body. So as you know, when we train, we break down our muscles. We are literally tearing our muscles when we train. So it's important that our body is rebuilding back those muscle tissues. And protein and amino acids are essential for that regrowth of tissue. So if you're training, you're going to need more protein than somebody that's not just sitting around. But there's no need to excessively load up on protein. That's not a necessity. So there's a lot of people, bodybuilders especially, they're consuming so much protein, it's not even funny, and the body can't even break that down. So basically they're just wasting money on their protein supplements because your body can't break down 200 grams of protein in one shake. It doesn't make sense. So we need all of these macronutrients, but we need them all. It's not that we can just ignore one or the other. There's a lot of diets like the ketogenic diet and things like that are limiting carb intake, which is fine for the lay person, but as a sprinter, as a swimmer, especially, that carbohydrate intake is really, really, really important for us as athletes because that's readily available energy for us. So don't discredit the use of any of these macronutrients, but also don't get caught up on, oh my gosh, I need to eat a ton of protein. I got to eat more protein. I got to eat more protein. I got to eat more protein. If you start tracking your nutrition, you'll probably find that you're right on target for protein intake, unless you're a vegetarian and we have to find other sources of protein for you. Fat, this is another one that likes to get bad rap. Not so much lately because we've started to realize how important fat is to our bodies. Fat's a really necessary part of the human diet. It helps us absorb fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K, and they also help protect your joints. So fat is extremely important. They reduce inflammation. They help your immune system. This is another one where we don't want to discredit the use of fat in our diets. So a couple years ago, the United States Olympic Committee, in a partnership with several other organizations, I think UCCS was involved in the creation of these, came up with these MyPlate suggestions. What happened was USDA, United States Dietary Association or whatever, used to have the food pyramid. Those of you that are a little bit older might remember it. I think they got rid of it about 8-10 years ago. It's probably still in textbooks, but they used to design it as a pyramid, and they switched over to this idea of what should a plate look like. So for easy training, right, we don't have a whole ton of high intensity exercise. So we're going to see that this whole grain section is significantly reduced. So we don't need as much bread, as much pasta, as much carbs. All right. That's not necessary because we're not training hard. So we're not going to utilize those carbohydrates. And so there's no need to preload on a ton of pasta and rice and simple carbohydrates like that. We're going to see that lean protein takes up about a quarter of the plate, right? 4 to 6 ounces of meat, chicken, and then we see fruits and vegetables is a giant part of the plate. That brings us a ton of different vitamins and minerals that we need. If you cramp up and practice quite frequently, we probably have a mineral imbalance, or we're lacking a mineral, or we're lacking some piece of the part of the diet that we're lacking, whether it be potassium or sodium or whatever. And a lot of that stuff can come from our fruits, such as bananas. All right. Your water, which we're going to talk about, and then your oils, which are these healthy fats. So we're not talking about vegetable oil. We're talking about olive oil, different seeds, sunflower seeds, pistachios, peanuts, fun stuff. So this is our moderate training day. So you're going to see that our whole grain increases quite substantially from the previous day. And I don't know if there's an easy way to flip back and forth, but you'll see that the whole grains really becomes a bigger part of the diet. And once again, that's because we're using carbohydrates as part of our fuel source when we're training, and therefore we need more of it. The protein stays the same, and you can see that we're still consuming quite a bit of vegetables. All right. When we go to the hard training days, all right, we see that grains now take up half of our plate. So once again, if we flip back, you'll notice the difference in carbohydrate increase between the 3 days. So this really is fueling our body so that we can train hard. And it's not just fueling it like right before you go to practice, it's fueling it throughout the day, and it's fueling it especially after practice when we've depleted those glycogen stores, which we're going to talk about shortly. The other thing that's interesting to see when you click through these plates is that there's one thing that never changes other than the things that are on the side, but there's one thing on the plate that never changes, and that's our protein intake, right? All right. So sometimes athletes talk about hitting a wall. You guys ever heard that term? Felt like I hit a wall. All right, so when you hit a wall, what we know is that that means that you've probably completely depleted the glycogen stores from your muscles. And so this is why it's so important that we're consuming carbohydrates during practice, before practice, and after practice. And so if we're going through a 2-hour practice, which most of our practices are an hour and a half, 2 hours, or beginners are doing an hour, but you're going to go through the stores of glycogen. And so if you start noticing that you have this big drop in performance from the beginning of practice to the end of practice, and you were really strong at the beginning of practice, and at the end of practice, you weren't able to go fast, no matter how hard you tried, you just weren't able to go fast. We got to look at carbohydrate intake. And I know a lot of you guys don't eat during practice, and some of you guys I know don't like to eat before practice. So we're already starting off on a bad foot, and then we're an hour and a half into practice, and we've depleted our glycogen, and our muscles don't want to work anymore. So if you can't stomach anything during practice, then we need to try to find some sort of sugary drink, whether it be mixing, juice with water. That's what I did as an athlete. Sometimes I'd mix a little bit of juice with, the rest of the bottle with water. Gatorade, you can cut that in half. I don't like it really sweet, so you'll never see me drinking a Gatorade that's just straight out of the bottle. I think it tastes thick. It's like really thick and too sweet. You can cut that down with water. There's different solutions that you can buy at the store, different drink mixes that you can buy that are good. If you can stomach something, you can try goos, right? The little goo packs. You can try chews. There's some energy chews that you can get. We're not talking about caffeine. We're talking about carbohydrates. And then your guys' favorite, bumblebee juice. Honey is great, right? You just have to keep your body fueled throughout the practice. So if you're noticing that you have a huge drop in performance from the first part of practice to the end of practice, we have to look at your glycogen intake. We have to look at the amount of carbohydrates that you're consuming. All right. Recovery nutrition, this is huge. There's a lot of debate now between what the window of opportunity is, but we call it a window of opportunity. So there's this time, 30 minutes from the finish of your workout to where the body is ready to take in fuel. It's starving, right? It needs fuel. So within this 30-minute window of opportunity, there's science that shows that we have the best opportunity to increase the amount of the replenishment of glycogen in our muscles. But we also have the ability to almost stop the breakdown of muscle and start rebuilding it. So protein synthesis, we're rebuilding muscles. So we're going to rebuild muscles no matter what, because your body's going to work to rebuild it. But there's studies that show that if we take in the right nutrition after we work out, that we can stop the breakdown of muscle fibers and immediately start increasing protein synthesis. And what does that mean? It means that the quicker that we recover, the harder we can train the next day, right? So there's times where if you had a hard workout the first day and you don't recover and you don't cool down, okay, cool down is really important. We'll talk about that tomorrow. But if you don't cool down and you don't do what you need to refuel your body, the next day becomes really, really, really hard to train. All right. And I'm pretty sure all of you guys have noticed that from time to time. When we're training day after day after day after day, 2 hours a day, and we're working really, really hard, we've got to do the things that we need to do to be able to train hard the next day. And this recovery nutrition is big. So 3-to-1 ratio carbs protein. There was this huge push for chocolate milk. Got Milk did this huge chocolate milk push for athletes back a couple of years back. Chocolate milk, if you drink chocolate milk, it's got a 3-to-1 ratio of carbs protein. The chocolate syrup puts you right at that ratio. There's also drinks on the market, recovery drinks that have a 3-to-1 ratio of carbs protein. You can look at snacks that you can eat that have a 1 ratio of carbs and protein. Apples and peanut butter, you name it. There's plenty of different options. Water. All right. Hydration is extremely critical in our ability to perform as an athlete. So on the right side is a pee chart. So the best way to figure out if you're dehydrated or if you're plenty hydrated is to look at your pee. So when you go to the bathroom, stare at your pee. All right. I wouldn't recommend carrying a chart around with you. You don't need to like pull it out and compare it. All right. But you should at least know what your pee should look like. And that's clear with a little bit of yellow. All right. So we shouldn't be really dark yellow. If your pee looks like coffee, we have a serious problem. This is when you start getting serious dehydration. Most times you're going to start seeing symptoms of dehydration, even at levels 4 and 5. So if your pee's yellow, you're going to start noticing you might get a headache. That's when we might start cramping. That's when you're going to start feeling just lethargic, like you don't really want to move. So we really want to work towards getting our pee to look like these first 3. All right. So I know it's an uncomfortable subject, but it's important that you guys understand hydration and what you can do to make sure that you're plenty hydrated for practice. All right, that's all I got. I promise I kept it short. Is there any questions? Surely somebody's got to have a question.
I don't, that's for sure. I don't know. I don't have a question.
Can anyone hear me?
Oh my God. What's the question?
Yes.
Nate!
Don't ask me the question.
No,
you
Wait, I think I.
Lavala!
Yeah. James is on here.
Yeah.
We don't have video from James, but okay. Any
How do I
questions?
do that? How do I, start video?
Yeah. Coach Jason, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. I've noticed with a couple of our intermediate swimmers who don't have much body fat on them at all, that in the course of an hour and a half workout, within 40 minutes of the workout, they're becoming hypothermic. Their chins are shaking, they're a little blue around the lips, and they grab their bodies and they don't look like they're comfortable. That's mild hypothermia. Is that also related to, at that point, they've lost their glycogen in their body?
It very well could be. That's definitely a possibility. I mean, there's a number of factors that goes into that. I wouldn't say that it's all nutrition based, but it definitely could be part of it.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, we miss you guys so much. It's so nice to see you guys.
I love you, Coach Christina.
I love you.
Yes. So how does this all work? I don't know. So this is.
Wait, Jason.
There's Jade. I see Jaden.
Jason, I have a question.
Yes.
What was the third macronutrient? I got protein, carbs, and I don't know. Wait, what was the other?
Oh my gosh, taking notes.
Okay. Yeah, I took
I got
notes.
Good.
Me too.
Colorful notes.
Yeah, if you want to see any of those slides, let me know. I'll pull them back up.
That looks awesome.
In the back.
Wait, what's the other meeting that's happening at like 6:45 or something?
6:30.
No, that's tomorrow at 6:30. We're talking about the science of how we improve, which is one of my favorite things to talk about. I love to talk about the energy systems, and I love to talk about how we improve. Most of you guys have seen a lot of the charts that we talk about, but it just gives us an opportunity to dive a little bit more in depth instead of me just drawing on the whiteboard. So.
Yay!
Nightwing.
No, stop. My best friend made my account, and then we made it for like a couple months ago because we were having just a video call because I was somewhere else, she was somewhere else, and then she made my account, and then I can't figure out how to change my name. So like I've been having a couple meetings on here, and everyone's like, "Why is your username Nightwing?" It's so
Nightwing.
weird. Like, it's so annoying. I hate it.
It's okay. I can't figure out how to use my camera.
Who said that?
All we see is Hannah Duncan.
I just figured it out too.
And then like resume video, so you could just go to the bottom. It's by where mute and unmute is.
I know, but I tried using that, and it keeps saying that it can't access my camera.
James's eye.
You might have to go into your settings and then tap on Zoom and then say you can. Hannah, you probably have to go into your settings and then go into your press Zoom, and then it'll show you like it'll probably have camera turned off.
Oh, of course.
Because you might have said no, you don't want it. The camera.
From Sophie to everyone. Hi.
Exclamation points. She's very
Hola.
excited.
Hola, ¿cómo
I'm gonna go check on my cat.
Sí, sí, señor.
Look at that.
Ravala, where's Melanie?
Ah.
Figured out how to look at all of you
Wait,
at the
we can
same
see you
time.
all, so go ahead and everybody smile.
I feel sad.
Hannah.
This is what it's coming to. We're taking
Wyatt! I didn't even see Wyatt on there.
Yeah, it's
Well, I've
Wyatt.
been here for a while.
Oh my gosh, and Drew and Esberg.
I think this is how you
Yeah.
spell chow. Don't judge.
I'm concerned because our pictures are not 6 feet away from each other. Is that a problem?
Oh
I
no!
think we might be at risk.
I think I got Wyatt in the picture. Let's see.
Smile, everyone.
I see Wyatt.
Oh, there's a puppy.
There's a. Oh, now I see Wyatt. Okay, and then.
Got an Under Armour
I'm
shirt
sorry.
on.
Chris looks unentertained.
What?
Who is
Chris is in the middle.
Danny and Chris are very quiet.
Quinn wins the award for most relaxed.
Where's my
I know.
super soup?
I already texted him and was like, "You look very comfortable." Where's Melanie? Why is Melanie not here?
She ran away.
He didn't.
Run! Where's my
Monica's
super
there.
soup? Who wrote "Where's my super soup"?
I don't know.
That's
That
Jaden.
sounds like something Jaden would say.
Is he getting back